Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. We got a DM from a listener who went on a first date with somebody, and then what happened on the second date is the fascinating part. So we want you to call in and chime in on this at 312-591-8300 because maybe you have a situation from a first date to a second date. Because when you get that second date, you feel like, I might have found my person. This is it. Because, I've had a lot of first dates. Not as many second dates.
Me too.
And the second date's the real kicker. I don't know, Kenzie, did you have tons of first dates and not many second dates?
No, I did. I was never a big dater. So, I feel like I've always ended up with people that I was friends with first because I couldn't, bump into someone, at coffee and be like, look, we should go out one time. I'm like, I've never met you. It just creeped me out a little bit. I just would get kind of, not that they were creepy. That's not the right thing to do. Just that, it freaked me out.
Sure.
I wasn't good at that.
I think a lot of people are like that.
I really did. I really have barely dated in my life, ever.
Well, this might open your eyes a little bit to maybe, well, you're married now, but don't date anymore. So this was something that was DM'd to us, Brian and Kenzie. Should I be creeped out that I went on a great first date with a guy, and when we got together for the second date, this is what happened, okay? The second date, he had changed me to his emergency contact. I thought maybe it was a joke at first, but when I asked if it was, he looked at me dead in the eyes and said, quote, if something were to happen to me, I want you to be the first to know. I get that I shouldn't be upset about someone liking me, but making me his emergency contact seemed a bit too personal. Is this a red flag behavior? Is this red flag behavior changing to personal contact? They went on in their DM a little bit about how he showed on the phone the portal to the medical people that he put her as the medical contact, emergency contact. All those, health portals, So, Kenzie, I guess, what do you think of this?
So I don't love the comment. I didn't know that's what he said. That's creepy. But
maybe I added creepiness when I read it. Maybe.
Yeah, because the way you said it made it sound like she will be a lampshade. But
let me try to read it a little less.
Give a second take.
Let me get a second take on it.
Less lampshade.
Okay. Well, if something were to happen to me, I want you to be the first to know.
That's all. That's just pathetic. I don't know.
So
Every
it's not
time
better?
You say it, it's bad.
Wait, you want the creepier version first?
I don't even know. Okay, but my take without the comment on just the situation, okay, because I don't know, I wasn't there when he said it or how he said it, is that I honestly feel kind of bad for him because if you just met someone and you're getting along with them great, already to an extent where they should be your emergency contact, I would think that you just don't have a lot of family or you don't have good people in your family.
Right.
So I kind of feel bad for him. I get why it's too much, but I feel like I'd be a pity contact because I would feel like obviously you just haven't had a great relationship with people and you finally feel like you're connecting with somebody. I honestly feel bad for him.
I'd love to know if something like this ever happened to somebody on the phone lines at 312-591-8300, something that kind of personal. It doesn't have to be exactly this, but something like this.
Well, so sudden and abrupt, given that it was a second date.
Second date, emergency contact, meaning that, Miss Kenzie, do you know Jeff? He's been in a car accident, and he doesn't have any insurance. He needs $50,000 from you.
They do not do that when they call you.
It's a guilt trip from the hospital.
Case, what do you think of this?
I think it's sweet. I think in life it is so rare to find somebody that you actually connect with. And like Brian, you said, when you leave a first date and it actually went well and you have a second date in line, it is one of life's greatest joys because it could be. And it's perhaps unfair or inappropriate to think of it this way, but a second date means this could be the rest of your life.
Yeah.
I would have loved, and look, I've got a great relationship, love her to death, but I would have loved to have been in a situation where after my first date, I felt comfortable putting somebody down as my emergency contact. I think it's sweet. I think it is a really romantic gesture. Yes, it's coming on strong, but you know what? Life is short. What are you going to do other than come on strong?
Preach. Shoot your shot with emergency contacts. I want to note there are texts coming in, but we'd love to hear you on the phones on this one at 312-591-8300. Your voice and explaining situations, maybe from a first date to a second date, what you had that may have stunned you, shocked you. Maybe it's a green flag. Like Kay says, Kenzie says, not a red flag necessarily, but you're concerned about the guy a little bit. You're concerned that happened. Carly in Mundelein checked in and texted in Kenzie's point about being friends with people before you date them, did they know each other? Carly, they said in more of this, they did not know each other. So,
see, I didn't know that. I was going to say, if they did, yeah, exactly. Like, what if they were kind of friends, co-workers, whatever?
Yeah, there was no buildup. It was first date, Carly, in Mundelein, and then it was emergency contact like 2 days later for the second date.
I'm sorry.
312 just texted in and said, Kenzie, you're my emergency contact.
Yeah.
I got you. It's okay.
Because, when they ask for that $50,000, you don't have health insurance, Kenzie's going to be there for you.
This, I don't know why you think, because you're somebody's emergency contact, you give them money. Like, what? This isn't. What are you talking about?
Well, I've had people call me from jail to get bailed out before, and it's not fun.
But that's not the same thing.
I take it all as the same thing when they mention money on the phone to me, and I need you right now.
Brian and Kenzie.
On Q 101.
We just read a DM from a listener who said they went on a first date with someone, never met him before, or at least they weren't good friends, went on a first date. By the second date, he had changed her to his emergency contact. Bold move, pretty big move. Now, she doesn't know if it's a red flag, green flag. She was asking for us and your advice on it. Kenzie, what do you got on the text line?
Okay, so Anna texted in, and she's also. I think this is going to become a thing. Maybe we should do red flag, green flag on our show because she texted in and said, "I had a first date with this guy, and he brought me to a family birthday party."
On a first date?
The first date was at the family birthday party.
Wow.
That's something my brother would have done. I'm like, oh, here comes another bitch. Every time we, like, can you just not date for this one night? It is my birthday.
Oh, God. Case, what do you got?
Robert in Michigan City checked on the text line, and he said that this just happened to him where a woman made him her emergency contact on the 5th date, and he's not sure how to feel about it either. What are we not understanding here? Being labeled somebody's emergency contact is second to knighthood. It's one of the highest honors you can receive. If somebody makes you their emergency contact, take it as a compliment and cherish it.
Well, in a different
You
angle.
don't have to do anything. Like,
Well,
even if somebody calls you, it's like, you don't have to answer. Like, not to be mean, but I would just leave it.
No, that's the meanest thing I ever heard. If someone makes
You don't have to.
Note to self.
Don't make Kenzie emergency contact.
Not if I
God.
don't really like you, I wouldn't.
Because she will quote, don't do anything on that.
I mean, whatever.
This is the first time texter checked in. I don't understand this one. So welcome to the party, by the way, 630. We appreciate you. He says, this emergency contact business could be a long con.
Is that all he says?
Well, I answered back, how? And he says this. This guy has someone pose as a doctor. Guy was in, quote, an accident and needs a kidney.
What? This is why I wouldn't answer her.
This is like,
This man has his third eye open. That's what I'm talking about. I love being that paranoid. That's awesome.
good Lord. All right, so we have Michael on the phone with us, checking in from Hobart. Michael, appreciate you. Welcome in.
So I went on this date with this girl I shall not name on the air.
Good
Was
call.
it Voldemort?
Lord Voldemort, yes. Let's put it that way. So, yeah, it went great. Went to Olive Garden, and she was a musician just like me. Went to Guitar Center, started playing. Like, she's great.
That's a great date, by the way.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I thought everything was going great. And then on the second date, we went out to eat again, and, like, it was good, but then there was the conversation of she's just looking at me. She's like, I would love to know what our babies would look like. And I was kind of like, whoa. Okay. She's like, you're just your face with my face. I'm like, what's going on with my face? I'm kind of looking around like, is anybody else catching this? Like, am I okay? And kind of just died off from there. I kind of just said, I'm not really feeling this. Kind of freaked me out. You talking about my face and babies? Like, what's going on with my face? Is it? I don't know. It was just kind of weird. So I kind of dropped it. I don't know if that makes me an a-hole or something, but like.
Well, it doesn't make it an a-hole, but possibly a missed opportunity because she liked your face.
I mean, well, is it she likes it enough to like put it on a mantle or something? Like, was I in danger?
Like a deer?
I don't know.
I think she just wanted it because you put each other's faces together and then you can see what your kids would look like. I think that's what she was saying. She wasn't going to
I
keep
have two children. I know how this face molding stuff works.
So you took it as she was going to take your face off your head and put it on her kids' faces.
Hear me out. There was nothing else
Hear him out.
she complimented on. So she didn't compliment me on anything else but my face. So I was like, oh, okay.
Got it.
So it just kind of felt a little weird for me. So
Oh, that's okay.
it kind of. But I appreciate you guys having me on.
I appreciate it. Did you find anybody that likes your face that doesn't want to take it off your head?
Yes, I have.
Oh, there you go.
That's very sweet.
Happy ending.
Writing for all of me, not just my face.
Well, good. I'm glad you're happy, brother. Oh, we got one more here to put a lid on it. 708 checked in. Emergency contact. Son of a bitch.
Jonas, son of a bitch.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie.
On Q101.
Now, we were just talking about a situation where a girl, one of our listeners, DM'd us, went on a first date with a guy. Second date, he puts her as his emergency contact for medical reasons. And she's not necessarily completely freaked out, but just, it's kind of weird. Kenzie, what do you got on the text line from this?
So 630 texted in and said, emergency contact on date number 2, yellow flag. Emergency contact on date number 5, and you're concerned? Sorry, you're the red flag.
Could be. Kate, did you have a text coming on this one?
No, I just want to talk to Brian from Oak Forest on the phone when we have a chance.
Okay, before we get to Brian, Paul checked in from 708. Adding case as my emergency contact in case I get shot at the rate from somebody's fat roll.
It's a lot to unpack there. I never thought my life would take me in that direction.
Yes, and Kenzie being added, of course, religiously to a bunch of people right now as their emergency contacts as well.
That's fine. Just know that I probably won't answer.
That's right. You don't have to, according to Kenzie, when you're an emergency
You don't have
contact.
to answer. Fine. Put me down. It doesn't mean I'm going to, do a bunch of stuff.
The definition not for an emergency contact.
Do a bunch of stuff. Most
I'm busy.
callous thing I've ever heard.
Brian's checking in from Oak Forest. Let's go to him. Brian, ahoy. What's going on?
Hey, how you doing?
Excellent.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so we go to dinner, and I go to pay. She pulls out a credit card, and she says, this is on us. I go, what do you mean on us? She's like, I like you a lot, blah, blah, blah. I added you as a second user, as an authorized user on my credit card. And I said, oh, dear God.
Whoa. Slow down. She added you as an authorized user on the credit card while the first date was going on?
I guess she must have done it after the first date because the second date there it was. And she said she took a screenshot of her computer and you can, do it. And yeah, my name was right there below hers.
How does it feel to be God's favorite? I am so annoyed right now.
No, that's not good. That's like a red flag.
How is that bad? Forget
It
people.
scared me.
Oh, here's all my money. How terrifying. It's like a horror movie.
Use my credit card.
No.
I'm scared.
Well, I don't
We go to the car, right?
Yeah.
We go to the car. I want to exit stage right at this point. She says, she pulls out a checkbook, this was years 97. So, and she's like, I added you also to my Fed Bank account. You're now on here as a primary account holder. And I looked at her like a deer in the headlights look, probably had 20 semis coming at it. And I felt if that car wouldn't drive, I wasn't coming back.
That would be the way to kidnap me. Throw a checkbook in a van and tell me I'm allowed to use it.
Brian and Kenzie.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Time for some music entertainment news. Very appropriately, we play that MTV stinger there because that's when we all found out, if you were around in 94, that Kurt Cobain had passed away. Today is his birthday. He would have been 58 years old, February 20th, 1967. And Kurt Donald Cobain. And I love the Wikipedia definition of Kurt Cobain if you just go there and you don't know much about him. Through his angsty songwriting and anti-establishment persona, his compositions widen the thematic conventions of mainstream rock music. He was heralded as the spokesman of Generation X and is widely recognized as one of the most influential rock musicians of all time.
Are they wrong?
They're not wrong. Not wrong 100%.
But boy, would he hate that first sentence.
Let me go that first. Through his angsty songwriting and anti-establishment persona. Yep, he'd hate that.
I think he'd just get out and leave. He'd hate that sentence.
It was wild how, and just for personal reasons, when you watch all the documentaries and me being, they're like, if you're, I don't know what age you might be, but they're like kind of my Led Zeppelin Nirvana is.
Yeah.
They're the band that I've known my whole life. And with just 2 chords, we're going to play Smells Like Teen Spirit here in a minute, with the dan-na-nat, it killed everything and changed everything in 1 second of music. And if you were old enough to remember, that's when the hair metal bands were still kind of ruling. Grunge had started, but those 2 chords, for whatever you want to put on Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, and Soundgarden, the big 4 with Nirvana, those 2, dan-na-nat, went, wait, what's this? What's happening? And the video on MTV totally changed everything going forward with music. And as I said, Q101's been around since 1992. It might not be here if it wasn't for Nirvana. It might not be here. We might not be here right now just goofing off and having a good time. So I promised you some audio that you have most likely not heard unless you're an ultra super fan and you did the deep dive. And Case found this audio from Dave Grohl talking about Kurt Cobain when his daughter listening to Nirvana, which he explains it better than I can go in about. Doesn't sit around the house listening to Nirvana all the time. And this was an interview with Conan O'Brien.
My daughter Harper and I were driving in the car not long ago, 6 months ago, and a Nirvana song came on. And we don't listen to Nirvana at home. This Nirvana song comes on, she's singing along to the words. And I'm thinking, wow, that's weird. I've never heard her listen to a Nirvana song. How does she know a Nirvana song? And she says, Dad, how old were you when you made this song? I said, God, I think I was like 22, maybe. She goes, oh, how old was Kurt? So I think he was maybe like 23, 24. She goes, what was he like? And I'd say, well, he was really nice. He was kind of shy, sometimes quiet, but he was cool. But she says, well, he was shy. Was he shy around people that he knew or people that he didn't know? And I said, well, kind of a little bit of both. And she said, God, that's so strange that someone who feels shy like that could write these songs and sing them for everyone to hear and then stand on stage in front of 100,000 people and play them. I thought that was so cool because I think she wasn't looking so much at that other thing.
Yep.
She was looking at the person.
Yeah, that's really wild. Again, the first thought, and obviously there's people that are 15 walking around wearing Nirvana shirts, and they discover the music now, and it stands up.
Well, that's what happened to me. I mean, I was 12 the first time I heard Nirvana, and I never shared the earth with Kurt Cobain. I was born 5 years after he passed away, but the order of my life was there was the first 12 years of my life, and then I heard Wood by Alice in Chains, and I said, whoa, I'm going to need more of whatever that is. And then Nirvana is the next logical step, and it became a complete obsession in my teenage years, and I realize now maybe I don't wear how much I like Nirvana on my chest as much as maybe I should, but they're one of the greatest bands of all time. I'm completely infatuated with them still.
Yeah. You can still find more, too.
Do you think your parents were like, oh, he is angsty?
Well, yes, because my parents were not Nirvana people. And so I forced my dad to listen to not only Nevermind and In Utero, but the demos and the outtakes and the bootlegs that I would find. And it was a lot for my parents, and I'm very glad that they would let me do that.
They're like, Case, we have horses outside.
I'm like, no, thank you.
Touch some grass, honey.
Case was yelling at his dad, don't you understand his angsty songwriting and his anti-establishment persona? These compositions widen the thematic conventions of mainstream rock music, Dad.
He was the voice of Generation X.
Well, there's another piece of audio we're going to play here, and this is what I love to do on... It doesn't happen intentionally, but you fall down a wormhole of isolated vocals.
Yeah.
And YouTube is amazing.
It's the best thing ever. It's the best thing ever.
You can find a song when I say that, and they take the vocals off. Somebody put it up there, and you can find the vocals. And Butch Vig, who was produced, of course, he's in Garbage, the band Garbage. He produced Nevermind. Incredible producers, produced 100 albums that we all love. Talks about working with Kurt Cobain on Smells Like Teen Spirit and getting the vocals just right.
And this is it was a series called Classic Albums. They did an episode on Nevermind, obviously. The full thing is available on Amazon. It is probably the media I've consumed the most because I had it parked on my DVR as a kid. And you would always have the DVR keep button next to it.
Oh, yeah.
this was essential to my life that this never left my DVR. And he goes through the whole record. There's interviews with Dave Grohl, Chris Novoselic, people from Seattle that grew up around them. But throughout the course of the documentary, he breaks down the isolated tracks on the master tapes. And the isolated vocals of Smells Like Teen Spirit are, I say this complimentary, but haunting.
You can hear his voice now in the last chorus.
I feel stupid.
It's starting to get pretty shot. He's been going so hard through the song, pushing so hard. Sounds like his vocal cords are starting to come right out of his throat.
I'm a skater.
Especially when he gets to a denial. It's pretty powerful sounding.
Wow.
Incredible.
So he doubled the vocals. You could hear one voice was raspier than the other time. He doubled it on there and did that. Why don't we just play the damn song and you hear it with the music? You hear Kurt. And the song that changed everything, it's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Happy birthday, Kurt, wherever you are.
Brian and Kenzie.
On Q101.
You can't defeat her. She's too powerful.
Klash with Kenzie.
Let the battle begin.
Q101.
And what a battle for a lot of reasons here today in Clash with Kenzie. Obviously, a premier ticket, the Lumineers at Soldier Field. And I just discovered that Mike, who's competing against Kenzie, is from north of the border, Canada. And so the honor of America, Kenzie, is on your shoulders with USA Canada tonight, the hockey game at the NHL Four Nations on ESPN tonight at 7. We've talked about one of the greatest sporting events of all time tonight. And now Mike is representing Canada. Proudly, I can only assume, Mike. Is that a fact?
That is a fact.
Do you care to sing the Canadian national anthem right now on the radio show?
Oh, I couldn't do it if I tried.
And you are
You
not
don't
a real...
sound Canadian
Yeah,
to me,
boo.
Half of it's French. We don't know.
Poser.
Well, listen, it is certainly an important one, Kenzie. Do you feel up for it?
Sure, let's see what we got. I hope it's not a war question.
That is not somebody I want representing America. I want somebody
I never took this job going, and I'm coming in representing America, in fairness.
She never said
I'm
that.
not against it. This isn't an answer. I'm just saying, I don't think, if it was a group vote, I don't think we should have put that on me.
Yeah, I think
That's called being self-aware.
sounds about right.
That's true. No argument for me. All right, let's flip a coin.
All right, so first one to 5 wins, Mike. Listen carefully. If Kenzie gets one wrong, you can steal a point. She can do the same with you. Call heads or tails, Mike.
Let's do heads.
Heads is right. They still have the loony and the toonie up there in Canada?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay, I should have had a loony. That's the quarters, the coins up there.
Well, you barely have an American quarter. Let's calm down on Canadian change.
It's only worth about 60 cents. I don't think you want any loonies in your pocket these days.
Sounds like you're happy to be in America.
It sounds like this entire thing sounded like the Kate McKinnon skit when she calls like her two body parts like, oh, the loony and the toonie. I thought that's what you were doing. And I was like, what are you talking about, Brian?
No, Canadian currency.
Oh.
All right, here we go. Question number 1 to Mike the Canadian. At what breakfast establishment would you find the Grand Slam meal?
That's Denny's, isn't it?
That is Denny's. That's right.
Brian, you did that question last week.
No, we did a different Denny's question. We did a Moon over Miami.
Yeah, there's
No, we did Grand Slam last week.
Oh.
I don't know.
All right.
In case you knew the questions, I don't know. Anyway, a mulligan there for Mike then. A good
No,
one.
he nailed it. Yeah, it's a cornerstone of American culture. I just want to be sure that he knew it.
Yeah. Let's see. Back to Kenzie. What is the term for Oreos with twice as much filling as usual?
Double stuff.
There you go. You got a layup there to make good for it. So 1-1. All right. Back to Mike.
Correct.
In 1800, some American history for you, Mike. In 1800, John Adams became the first U.S. president to live where?
Oh, I mean, I would want to say in the White House.
The White House is right. Good job.
Yeah.
Look at this Canadian known as American history.
Look at
that. Back to Kenzie. Other than New Mexico and Oklahoma, Kenzie, name a state that borders Texas other than New Mexico and Oklahoma, which you said this week already.
You got 2 more out there.
2 more. 50-50 chance.
Wind comes,
Not quite.
Not really.
The boot, Louisiana.
Louisiana is right. I like how you remember the states by the toothbrush, Oklahoma, the boot, Louisiana. 2-2.
I did a lot of memory association in school for this kind of stuff.
It's working out.
Thank you.
So it's back to Mike.
That's correct, 2-2.
Mike, Tiffany & Company designed which MLB team's logo? So Tiffany & Company designed this team's logo, this MLB team.
I mean, I'd assume the Yankees.
It is the Yankees.
Old enough.
3-2.
And back to Kenzie.
Kenzie, what does PG in PG-13 stand for?
Parental guidance?
Parental guidance is right. 3-3. As we keep rolling here in Clash with Kenzie for the Lumineers tickets for Soldier Field. Remember, in the middle of the show here, I'll remind you, we have these tomorrow at 7:10 as well. It's back to Mike.
It is back to Mike.
Mike, who played the primary Barbie in the 2023 film by the same name?
Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie is right. Mike takes the lead with 4. Kenzie, the average adult human has 32 of what? The average adult human. 32 of what?
Gotta get this.
3.
I know it's not bones. Teeth?
Teeth is right. Oh, right before the buzzer.
Woo! That was a fire. Like it's not enough. It's more bones than that.
More bones.
All right, so here we go. It's 4-4. Next one wins, and the stake of America on the line, but Mike can win it with this one.
The pride of his nation on his shoulders. 4-4 back to Mike.
And I can't tell if this is an American question or it's a global question. So, Mike, here you go. What snack shares its name with the famous cartoon strip by Charles M. Schultz?
Oh, that's peanuts.
Oh, peanuts. Oh, boy, Canada wins. Disappointing. Now, Mike, did you guys have the peanuts growing up there in Canada?
Oh, yeah, we have peanuts. Charlie Brown.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
Oh, no, he meant peanuts. Do you eat peanuts?
Yeah, do you have peanuts? Almonds, pistachios.
No, they're too expensive to import. We leave it. So good target for those.
Well, all right, congratulations. I want to see you waving the Canadian flag at Soldier Field at the Lumineers show on Saturday, August 30th, Mike.
Hey, thanks, eh?
All right, congratulations. Thanks for listening, buddy. Hang on, Case will get your information. Again, we'll have more tickets tomorrow. 7:10, we get you on the phones for the Lumineers at Soldier Field.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.